Hey y'all, Sherry G. Welcome to the channel. So look, y'all, everybody's been talking about the famous water toss. You know, where Kiki washed Letitia's entire face, what I think is a cup of water anyway. Not even sure what that was. But anyway, it's been all over YouTube, it's been all over social media, and people have a lot to say about it. But one of the things when reading the comments that stood out to me is that it seems like people are actually blaming Melody for the dysfunction between Kiki and Tisha. And I don't know, like reading some of those comments really had me perplexed. So I kind of sat back and tried to see it from their side, like where are they getting this from and how are they pulling out that it's Melody's, fault, that she's instigating the vitriol between the two. So anyway, y'all, like I said, people are actually blaming Melody and insinuating that she's instigating all of this. And so anyway, I am going to give some commentary on that. But before I do, you know what I got to do? When I come back with my commentary, keep in mind that the views I express are just my views. It's my opinion, my way of seeing things. It's all alleged, and it's for entertainment, for fair use, and all that jazz. Hang tight, and I will be right back. Okay, y'all, so this water toss really has some folk in a frenzy. There are folk who say Tisha had it coming, and others who say Kiki was wrong. Then, y'all, there are those, like I said, insisting that Mel is the one behind it all. And I say, how, Sway? How? I try to understand, but I don't. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't get it. First of all, let me say this about what I saw in this scene regarding Kiki and Tisha. So when Kiki came in, she spoke to everyone and she extended hugs. Tisha ignored her and she walked off full of attitude, if you ask me. I mean, she hugged Amin, but she acted like Kiki wasn't even there. In my opinion, that's childish. I mean, you guys aren't cool. Like, we get that. We know they aren't cool, right? But we also get that you're at a function where all of your coworkers were in attendance. And I'm sorry, but that includes Kiki. You didn't have to be chummy, but you could have said hello. That would have been the adult thing to do, in my opinion. But you're sitting there chumming it up with the woman who called your man a biatch. As a matter of fact, so is he. Playing cards with the same person he said he was going to ignore. So I don't know if y'all remember, but Marcel actually said he was going to treat Stormy and Courtney just like he did before he knew him, like before he knew them. Like he didn't know they existed. Like he was just going to ignore them. That's what he said, y'all. But here he is sitting at the table playing cards with her. Now, let me just say this. I'm not an advocate for violence in any shape or form. So Kiki, in my opinion, was just as childish for the water bath, but I get it. I get it, y'all. I get being antagonized. I get when someone's being passive aggressive towards you. I get actually losing control because ever since I've been here, you've slung mud on my name and continue to bring up my past. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I get it. I get being at the point of no return. And that's why I feel like that happened to Kiki. On the other hand, it couldn't have been me sitting there getting that water thrown in my face, because y'all, my crazy would have been set all the way off, like all the way off. But anywho, I don't get how Marceau sat there with his nose in the air and ignored Kiki while puffing on that darn cigar. Now that just, to me, I'm like, you're a man and you're sitting here doing this. Like, this is when people are saying this is woman type behavior. Like, actually, it's little girl type behavior, if you ask me. Sitting there smoking that cigar, and he's ignoring her too. My husband would never do that. And if he did, I'd call him out. Maybe not in public, but he'd definitely hear from me a bit about that. Seriously, y'all. To me, I mean, how freaking embarrassing. But if I didn't know any better, like watching Tisha and Marceau, I mean, it really seemed like they were waiting for Kiki to show up. They knew she was invited, and it just looked like they were in this together. Like, this is just something they planned. She's going to be there. We're just going to act like she's not there. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just looked like they planned to ignore her. They planned to just get under her skin, and it worked. It worked. Then the gall of Marceau to then turn around and insinuate that it's drugs, call the police, and have her tested. This is the stuff that Kiki's been dealing with ever since she's been on the show. And then, y'all, they stay exploiting her situation. But to say it's Mel's fault, how? I still don't get it. This family's problem started way before this show. There's a lot of brokenness, mistrust on both sides, hurt, disappointment, a whole lot that remains to be uncovered and healed for them as individuals and as a family. But for those blaming Mel for bringing Kiki on the show, here's a reminder. Mel was friends with Kiki first. So what? She invited her on the show. I mean, when Kiki came on the show, I was actually happy to see Mel have someone she could be friends with, because Lord knows the scales were tilted, and it definitely was not in her favor. So where and how, though, does that equate to Mel instigating issues that already existed between these two? I mean, if you ask me, Marceau is the biggest wedge. He is posted guard, standing up against anyone who wants to be a friend to Tisha, any strong woman who wants to be a friend to Tisha. He ain't down for that. He ain't down for that at all. So Mel asking Kiki how she and Tisha are doing, I don't see that as instigating trouble. I mean, Stormy, when Kiki sat down at that table with Stormy asked her the same thing. And I don't hear anybody blaming Stormy for instigating that mess. I mean, she asked her that right before the situation, right before things popped off, and nobody blamed Stormy. So how is asking a question like that instigating trouble, right? There's a big difference between instigating and asking a question, right? Instigating, in my opinion, would be something like, let's see, girl, I don't know how you let your cousin continue to throw mud on your name. If I was you, I'd have to drag her behind. I mean, something like that, right? There's a big difference, like I said, in my opinion. Again, people's perceptions, it's their reality. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. You see it how you see it. I see it as I do. Yo, I just ain't seeing it, though. I mean, Kiki is a grown woman. In my opinion, she lost control. She gave up her power in a moment where she allowed her emotions to take charge. Hey, it is what it is. Been there, done that. I get it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I get it. As far as Mel saying it was Tisha's turn, because, Miss Wanda was all upset because she didn't like the conversation between Melody and Kiki, and when Mel was saying where there's smoke there's fire, or reminding Tisha that where there's smoke there's fire, and everybody needs to handle their scandal. That bothered her, among other things, like The water toss bothered her, and of course she had something to say, but she too is blaming Melody. But as far as Mel saying it was Tisha's turn, I concur. I mean, it's her turn. I mean, it had zero to do to me with someone wanting to see her marriage fail. We all know Tisha's in it for the long haul and possibly for the rest of her life. That's her business, but that's not the point. The point is, it's way past time for her to deal with the smoke and stop hiding, right? Way past time for her to stop asking about what's going on in the marriages of other folk and come clean about what's going on in hers. Deal with her scandals, just like Melody said. It's okay if she's okay with Marceau's smoking draws. We don't care. Just stop faking the funk. Yeah, y'all, to me, this is not on Mel. So I don't know where these folks are coming from. Y'all, please get down in the comment section and let me know how you feel about what the folks have to say. In the meantime, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. I will be back. Until then.